Farming is evolving faster than your wildest dreams. Keep up with the latest developments, or your worst farming nightmares might just come true. In today's list, we're telling you all about the latest farming methods and equipment that'll blow your mind and secure you a great livelihood. Number 1. Genetics. Biotechnologies perform a crucial role in producing more animals and crops. Safeguarding the natural environment is essential. Global warming and total natural or unnatural destruction could be the end of both agriculture and of us. The present and future of successful and profitable agriculture depends on genetics, genome design, scientific breeding methods, statistics, and up-to-date insights into minute biological and molecular processes. Profitable and sustainable breeding depends on the creation of useful traits, breeding programs that can transfer these traits to breeders and cultivators, intersections between public and private sectors, and training for the breeders and researchers of the future. Genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are living organisms. Their genetic composition is manipulated in laboratories. Genetic engineering produces combinations of genes, permutations of plant, animal, bacteria, and virus genes that do not occur through natural processes or through crossbreeding. Most GMOs have been engineered to withstand the direct application of herbicide and/or to produce an insecticide. However, new technologies are now being used to artificially develop other traits in plants, such as a resistance to browning in apples, and to create new organisms using synthetic biology. It's no secret that presidents, governments, and entrepreneurs are selling us all down the river if there are rivers left to sell us down. They're exploiting and destroying both people and nature herself. Politicians get elected on this ruthless political card. Some businessmen are promoting space travel and the colonization of other planets rather than life on Earth. Just because some other people are abandoning Earth doesn't mean we have to. Farmers better conserve nature. Our existence depends on this. Genetically modified animals and plants are more resistant to pests and disease, making them much more profitable. Biotechnologies have boosted agricultural production all around the world, supplying both food and clothes. Genes are being modified to produce more powerful insecticides and crops that can survive even more pesticide and poison. There's little evidence that genetic modification does improve yield, tolerance to drought, or even increased nutrition. But even still, there is little choice at present. Biological pirates have plundered the remotest rainforests and sold the plants to the transnational agricultural corporations. The original plants are destroyed at source, so the corporations are controlling life itself. Genetically modified seeds are all we have at this moment in time. GMO, genetically modified organisms, are the future, for good or for evil. Embrace GMO or go extinct like the woolly mammoth or the dodo. Number 2. The state-of-the-art combine harvester. Combine harvesters do it all, cutting, threshing, and cleaning the grains all by themselves. Before these machines were developed, agricultural laborers, slaves, serfs, seasonal migrants, call them what you will, had to perform a long series of agonizing and soul-destroying operations, one after another. First, the laborers have to cut down the plants, machetes or scythes being the instrument of choice. Next, they separate the edible grain from the inedible part, the chaff, by beating or threshing the cut stalks. Finally, they have to get rid of the debris so that the mills can grind the seeds. Modern harvesters do all of that. Perhaps the best one of all at the moment is the Claas Lexicon 8900, a hot-off-the-fire design that has 1,700mm drum width, 790 horsepower, and 18,000 liters of grain tank capacity. On the cabin roof, there's a field scanner that inspects the field from the air, dividing it automatically into 38 separate sectors. The system recognizes the edge of the grain or the middle of the tram line, so you can coordinate the traffic or combine harvesters. The dust extraction system is more efficient and larger than ever before. The dust is transported to the side rather than the top, so the driver has better vision than ever before too. The drums are all connected, so the quality of the straw is also better than ever. Just sit in your chair in the comfort of your own farmhouse, send out the machines, and count the millions of dollars flooding into your bank account. Number 3. Before the combine harvester, all we had was the Grim Reaper. In 1874, Sylvanus Locke developed a wire binder to speed up harvesting, but this scientific success did not last long. Bits of the wire got mixed up in the grain, the flour, and the farm animals. Imagine the results of this technological catastrophe. Bits of wire in your porridge, bread, and fried chicken. Don't bury your head in the sands of time. Invest in that combine harvester. Number 4. Fertilizers. Can you imagine growing crops without fertilizer? It's not that easy, is it now? The farmers of ancient Egypt, Babylonia, ancient Greece, and Rome all used fertilizer. Human excrement, manure, minerals on top or under the soil. How else are we going to increase production? Johann Friedrich Meyer promoted the use of gypsum in the 18th century. In the 19th century, Justus von Liebig advocated for the use of plant nutrition such as humus and ammonia. 300 years ago, Sir John Bennett Laws promoted the use of manure, an amazing but very smelly smelly innovation that has revolutionized agriculture ever since. The top 7 multi-billion-dollar fertilizer companies in the world at this moment in time are Potash Corp, Mosaic, Uralkali, Belaruskali, Yara, OCP, CF Industries, Israel Chemicals, Agrium, and K&S. Potash Corp produces potash-based fertilizers. Mosaic manufactures potash and phosphate-based fertilizers. Uralkali produces potash. Belaruskali manufactures potash. Yara produces nitrogen-based fertilizers. OCP manufactures phosphates. CF Industries produces nitrogen-based fertilizers. Clearly, potash, phosphate, and nitrogen are key ingredients in the best fertilizers. Number 5. Successful breeding. Successful breeding relies on genomics and computing sciences. The different types of breeding include crossbreeding, pure breeding, and inbreeding. Crossbreeding is when individuals of different breeds or lines are used to mate. Pure breeding is when the same lines or breed are used to mate with each other. Inbreeding is where two close relatives are used to mate. Breeding industries must adapt to economic pressures, environmental damage, climate change, and rising global populations. This is an almost impossible challenge. Number 6. Aquaponics. The world population is growing at a rate in which farming can't keep up. There are currently 7.9 billion people living on our planet. 10 years ago, there were only 7 billion people. Cities are becoming more dense, and smaller towns are becoming larger. People are not respecting nature anymore. We're also seeing less green and more buildings and roads. Farmers, growers, and corporations are struggling with demand both domestically and overseas. Food supply shortages and mass population requirements have created questionable farming practices and chemicals, and unfortunately, we're paying a radical price. Doesn't that make you sad? That certainly breaks the hearts of nature lovers out there. Others have got used to this over the years. I guess we're heading towards the scenario depicted in the 100 television series. In this series, only 100 people survived the ruthless destruction of man and nature. Their fate, or punishment, is to float around the dead planet Earth on a spaceship. So what is the solution? Aquaponics combines planting and fish farming so plants are fed the discharge or waste from animals. By using this method, the vegetables clean the water that goes back to the fish. In other words, microbes, microscopic creatures, play an essential role in the nutrition of the plants. Beneficial bacteria build up in the spaces between the roots of the plant. It then converts the fish poop and the solids into substances that plants can use to grow. This is the perfect combination of aquaculture and gardening. Superior Fresh in Wisconsin is currently the largest aquaponics system in the world. It is the very first in the United States to commercially produce Atlantic salmon and rainbow trout using land-based recycling aquacultural systems and technologies coupled with green production. Superior Fresh repurpose waste from the salmon and trout to use as fertilizer to grow leafy greens such as romaine, spring mix, and basil. Sounds fishy, doesn't it? Maybe, but hopefully the romaine, spring mix, and basil don't taste fishy. Number 7. Hydraulics. Hydraulics is a technological process of using pressurized fluid to power an engine. The entire point of this process is to minimize manual labor and reduce the danger of injuries. Hydraulics performs an important role in agricultural equipment by increasing overall productivity and efficiency. Here are some examples: self-propelled sprayers, truck loaders, hydraulic drives on tractors, and self-propelled harvesters. Hydraulics is key to energy and cost-efficient factor agriculture. Number 8. Urban farming. Hidden beneath the streets of New York, London, and Tokyo, you can find cellars created as urban farms. You could walk on the streets of these overcrowded capitals not even knowing that underneath your very feet lies the fruits and vegetables that you'll one day gobble up. In New York, under Michelin star restaurants, there are small farms. Under the streets of London, there are shelter farms. In Tokyo, there are pumpkin vines and rice paddies inside the office buildings. In Chicago, vegetables are grown on a floating raft in an old meatpacking plant, nourished by waste from nearby fish tanks. There are other farms in the US that hang their crops in the air. The roots are sprayed with nutrients, so no soil or tanks of water are required. Square Roots, a shipping container farm in Brooklyn owned by Elon Musk's brother Kimball Musk, is another great example of urban farming because this company connects people in cities to local, real, and fresh food. Its produce stays fresher for longer. Being hand-harvested, the produce is taken to a local store within hours, so it doesn't lose its nutritional value. Square Roots indoor farms recreate an ideal growing environment with the perfect climate, providing peak season flavor all throughout the year in any urban location. How cool is that? You don't have to wait every season for a specific fruit or vegetable, but you can get it all year round. How awesome is that? Well, that's all for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment, and we'll see you next time on the channel.